Hey, this is Professor Triplet. We are back. We are still working on this handle, and I think at this point I could probably hide some of these reference views and we could just rock out on this thing by itself. So, the next stages that we need to complete is we want to basically lay out all the topology on this flat piece before we go ahead and thicken it, because that'll just make our life easier and both sides will look exactly the same then, and we will be close to being finished with this piece. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to fix this part right here by fencing this. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a cut here, like so. And we'll go ahead and lose this triangle here. Just collapse that. Why did it not want to collapse that? It says warning. Not liking that. Okay, so obviously we've got an issue. I'm going to delete my history, and let's just try that one more time and see what happens. Collapse. There we go. Sometimes you get so much history and Maya just says, nope, don't like it, not going to do what you want. So there we go. That worked. All right, let's go ahead and fence in this other part over here. I'm a little concerned. Let's see how it looks from here. I think this should actually be more even here like that. And maybe this should be up there a little bit. We'll see. So let's go ahead and start that fencing here. We'll just start from right here, cut all the way, and cut all the way up to here, and then we'll cut here. All right, now I want to just adjust this part a little bit here. And let's adjust this part. All right, so it's being kind of funky, so let's just go ahead and do it with just grabbing the birds. Go like that. Okay, so now if I hit 3 on my keyboard, you can see that these shapes are holding pretty well. I may want to adjust them a little bit later, but we can do that when we start to mirror everything. And also, when we look at this, let's go ahead and hit 3 again. You can see that our bend looks pretty good there when it's smooth. And ultimately, that's what we're going to go for, because this object is meant to be smooth. We'll fix up some of these issues here next. So let's go ahead and for this one, probably the easiest way to do this is just to grab all these faces here, and we'll just do an extrude. You just click on this little icon there, get it to the center, and then click on the scale tool, and then just scale this in a little bit like so. Now we're going to have a problem, and that problem is, oops, got a problem grabbing this handle. That's what I'm trying to do. Move this over just actually, you know what, we'll just leave it there. We'll have to do it by hand. So the problem we're going to have is that we actually want this edge loop here to continue on. So for that matter, what we need to do is just, we can delete these out, hit delete, and we'll grab these edges here, and then just shift double click on this one, and it'll grab the edge loop. And then we can just go to our move tool, grab on just the X handle and hold V, and then snap it to avert so it's nice in line. And you can see we've got another issue where these are kind of out of whack too. So we can do the same thing here, just hold V and snap so that they're in line with the other polygons. So, okay, now we're going to need some edge looping stuff to hold this edge up, and we're also going to want to, actually, we're going to probably want to take this fencing and go up through here. Technically, for this object, we don't have to, but I think it's going to probably, well, let's see. Let's go ahead and hit 3 and see what we get. So that looks right, but see, this doesn't look right. Let's just make sure with our references I'm correct. We'll probably have to look at like a side reference and see how tight this looks right here. I mean, it's not perfectly tight, so my gut says we're going to want to fence this in, so I'm going to go with that. And so basically what that means is a fast way to do this would be to just drop in an edge loop like this, and then here through here we'll remove this, control backspace, and we will go ahead and just collapse this edge right here. And then just for completeness sake, I'm going to snap that to there, and then I want to collapse this down too, so just collapse that, double click there, we can collapse these, there we go. So now that's fenced in. Let's grab this edge here, let's make sure we didn't, yeah, we're good. Let's move that down just a little bit there. All right, so we will have to add some supporting edges in here to make sure that this thing doesn't get too curved. But let's go ahead and hit 3, see how it's going to look right there. Yeah, I like how that curve looks a lot better than the other one. So I think that's the way to go about it. All right, that's pretty good. And we've got that fenced in. And then let's see what's going on over here. So we added in this extra edge. So what could happen here is that now we get some pinching. So you can see it's a much tighter bevel, and we can adjust that. So let's go ahead and just go back to our, grab our edges. Oh, somehow I got over. Let's hide these. Control H so we don't get those anymore. And what the heck, let's hide this one too. Okay, there we go. So let's just grab this edge here and think about, let's try it from right here. So I just shift double clicked to get that loop, and then I'm going to go ahead and just turn on my slide edge loop, and I'm just going to pull that over a little bit like so. And we could do the same thing here if we like. Just grab that, and maybe up to the same point, grab that, and then I still have the tool activated, so I can just slide that a little bit. And we can see we're getting that, like, that turning that actually happens in the model. And we'll probably want to bend this a little bit eventually, but for right now, we'll just leave it alone. So let's just go ahead and do that. I think that's going to work. All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and balance this just a little bit more. So let's just use our slide tool one more time and see if we can, maybe we can do two is grab both of these and do them together like so. And then maybe grab this one and just balance that one into there. Now, if I don't want to run into a problem where I lose the flatness that I've gotten from this right here. So if I start, let me explain. If I start to edge slide this way, I'm going to get an angle here. Now with this piece, that might be perfectly fine, but I may say that I don't really want that. So I can move this out a little bit here. I could add another edge loop in, or I could take this edge loop per se and move this over like so. Although let's see how that's affecting over here. It doesn't really change much over there, but I could just add another edge loop in closer and then balance between those, balance this one over to here. But I think what I'll do, yeah, let's do that. I'm going to move this one over a little bit this way. I'll add another edge loop in here in the center, and then that'll hold this one flat because we have more, 180 degree curves right here. And then so if I want to balance this in a little bit more, I can just go ahead and just, let's use my edge slide tool. Now I can do something like that. this one, just that one, and go to there, and slide this one over a little bit. Now we're starting to get a little bit more of a, I think that'll be more balanced. All right, let's look at it. We smooth it. I think that's pretty good.